what kind of sadhana should a person do? Because many of you come to me and ask me this. What kind of spiritual practice should I do? Now, I teach so many things. I bring so many things to you. Do you want to do everything? You can. If you want to leave your home, your job, starve to death, yes, do everything. Because I can give you enough to keep you 24 hours in that. But it's not going to be practical, is it? You got to sustain in this world. You got responsibilities. So how do you choose what kind of a spiritual practice is good for you? How much to do? There are two factors. One is how eager you are. What is your thirst? What is your level of thirst? Two, your personality. Everyone is not suited for everything. Everyone can't do everything with that level of intensity. So you have to see, firstly, your thirst, your want for this. How much do you want from it? There are people who would like to be marginally spiritual. Meaning, as long as it gives them a little peace of mind, helps them to solve a few problems, explain their life to them, they're fine. Nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment on that. I'm just saying, if that is your level of need, then you have to do practices that suit that. If you're the very intense type and you are totally into it and you want results and you want to grow with a kind of speed, well then, if that is your thirst, then your practice has to be very different. At the same time, your thirst has to match your practical situation. What are your responsibilities? How has your life taken shape? How much time do you have on hand? What is your environment like? Because I don't encourage anyone to run away. You have to be here and now. Don't think that by running away to the mountains, to an ashram or to some forest will make you any more spiritual. You probably come back half bitten, either by mosquitoes or wild animals. Be practical. And you cannot shirk your responsibility. You may have spouse, you may have children, you may have parents, you may have a home. And yes, you may have a job. You got to sustain. Unless your forefathers have left you a fortune, you have to work. And even if you have that kind of money behind you, you may still want to work. Just for your sanity. So you've got to take both these things into consideration to know what is the best spiritual practice you can adopt. And your personality type. Are you the type who can sit for hours motionless? Are you the fidgety type who can't sit for 5 minutes? Are you the type who has that intense concentration? Or your mind keeps darting in thousands of directions every few minutes? Are you the type who can stay away from crowds, away from people? Or are you the people person who needs human company very often? You got to figure that out. You got to know who you are, at least in day-to-day life on a practical level, to figure out what kind of spiritual practices you would like to adopt, like to do. Because if you take the wrong one, the journey is going to be very arduous, very long and painful. You will benefit somewhere, of course. But that's like climbing the staircase when you can take the lift. So if you choose the right kind of practices that gel with your nature, your life, you will get that much better results in less effort. And it should suit you. It should make you want to do more. If you are fighting with yourself inside, then you're not choosing the right path. If you got to force yourself and like whip yourself into doing it, you've obviously chosen the wrong method. Because this is something that should bring you a certain level of gratification, a certain level of inner happiness, and perceivable progress. When you don't see perceivable progress, and when I say perceivable progress, I don't mean seeing visions of gods and goddesses, and that is not progress. That is hallucination. Oh, yeah. 90% of the time your mind creates things. You might like the creation, that's a different thing, but it does. When I say perceivable progress, I mean in your nature, in your thinking, in the way you deal with people, your relationships. That's where you need the progress. That's where you need the change. Otherwise, there is no change. Otherwise, where is the progress? What have you progressed to? Visions are not progress. Even an experience, even if you have some experience, suppose you have a really great experience. Fine, so what? Big deal. What have you achieved by that? Nothing. You tell a few people and people say, "Yay, very good, very good." Nothing else. Nobody is benefited. Your progress is only measured by the change that comes into it, in your way of thinking, in your day-to-day life, in how you deal with people, how you deal with situations, how you take up challenges, how you face them or succumb to them. That is your measure of growth. So perceivable progress is very important in any spiritual practice. There are any number of them. It's not that the ones I suggest are the best. No. I suggest more practical ones. I suggest the ones I've received from my gurus. I suggest the ones that I have tried out. I never tell you to do anything which I have not tried out, or I do not have an expert knowledge. But there are many options that you have. Some of you, or many of you, or many people I would say, think meditation is the be-all and end-all of spiritual practice. No, it is one powerful important practice. It is not the only one. There are many people who cannot do meditation. Does it mean that they can never grow? No. Of course they can. There are many other options. There are certain people who are averse to chanting mantras or doing any kind of symbolic kriyas or symbolic practices. Fine. They are the more rational type and say, no, I can't do this. I can't worship only one form of God or one form of this energy. Fair enough, nothing wrong with that. There are people who can't do complicated breathing exercises or physical austerities. Does it mean that you cannot grow without them? No. You can. Ultimately, every path, every method, every practice should lead to purification. Again, purification of the mind, not physical purification. That is only a very small component. Purification of the mind. Every practice must ultimately lead to that. Only if that mind is purified can your aura be purified, can your energy be purified. Your goal is to go towards divinity. How can you go towards divinity? You can't match that energy. You have to match that energy. And that cannot be done with a mind that is impure. The whole idea of doing meditation is to bring that control on the mind, to purify that mind. The whole idea of chanting, of mantras, is ultimately to bring about Shuddhi. Till that purification is achieved, nothing is achieved. And it doesn't happen overnight. Oh no, no way. Lifetimes are required. But you have to start somewhere. And you have to progress to some level in every lifetime. Because you always take off from where you left off. It's not that you start all over again. Obviously not, otherwise we'll still be animals. Or like animals. So choose a spiritual practice that is practical and agrees with you. And which you feel like doing more often. The reason why I have given many in the various programs is that to avoid a kind of boredom setting. Because I know it is very boring. I mean, it is so monotonous sometimes. I have done tapas. I know I've sat for continuous days chanting one mantra. And there are times when that fleeting thought comes and says, just break out, leave everything. Fleeting thought. Then again you say, okay, I'm being stupid. You continue doing what you do. But that is how intense it can get. To avoid that kind of monotony and boredom which everyone cannot cope with. Of course, then the results are also that dramatic when you do something like that. But don't expect you to sit down and do something of that sort. To avoid that boredom, you can do different things on different days. You can mix and match your spiritual practice. Ultimately, they are all going to help you in a certain way. So the reason I have given so many is for you to, choose a few that you connect with. Very important that you connect with a certain practice or a certain type of procedure. And do that different over different days so that you don't get into that, you don't get tired of it or you don't feel bored of it. And you can do it for that much longer, because I know a lot of times we start off with a lot of enthusiasm and slowly we run out of steam over maybe a period of 6 months, maximum a year, and then it kind of tapers off. All your effort is not wasted, but you'll have to do the whole thing again. To get that momentum. So rather go at a steady pace. Do a few things, but do it regularly. Rather than do it very intensely for a month or two and then leave it off for the next few years. That is why I have given so many methods that you can do. Most of them are taught in the programs that you attend. Please attend these programs repeatedly, if not every time or every week, whenever you get time. It's not that, okay, I've done it, I know how to do it, so I'm done and over with it. No. The more often you participate in them, you attend them, there's a certain energy that is built in these programs. You benefit from that. You benefit from the very fact that you're sitting in those programs. The collective energy has an effect on you. So wherever and whenever you get an opportunity, you have the time and the convenience, please attend these programs repeatedly. If you can't, do some of them at home. Practice them at home. Take out a little time. But regularity is more important. It's not that one day you do it continuous 12 hours, 15 hours, and then for the next 1 month you do nothing at all. That won't help. Or you do something that doesn't gel with your personality, doesn't suit you, and you have to labor through it. If you're going to labor through it, you're going to leave it very soon. It's something you should look forward to doing every day, rather than say, oh my God, I've got to do this. That's not the right attitude. That's not going to give you the desired result. So choose what you want. Yes, you can talk to me, you can come and discuss these things with me. Do not feel that I am inaccessible. I am very accessible. You can email me. You can come and talk to me personally. Just take an appointment with Shirin. You can't meet me. I am there for any kind of guidance you need for your spiritual practice. I am always there. Not only am I there in that sense, but I am there in another way also. You mentally call me and you will get help in this respect. As far as your day-to-day problems are concerned, yes, I am there to help in that sense, but be discerning about when to reach out to me. Like, if your maid doesn't come, don't ring up and tell me I don't have a problem. Or, my boss was very rude to me today. I can't do anything about that. You will have to handle it. The point is, I have taught you solution, how to get solution to life problems. First, use those techniques, use those tools. If you don't find you're getting some results, Go back to your teachers from whom you may have learned. Ask them, am I doing something wrong? Does it need to be done differently? Why am I not getting the results other people are getting? When they can benefit, why am I not getting the results? If after that certain problems persist, yes, surely come to me. I'm there for that also. But as far as your spiritual practices are concerned, your sadhana is concerned, please feel free to come and talk to me. I'll give you whatever guidance I can and tell you what to do and how to do it. Okay?
How important it is that when you are meditating, it's all quiet, because at times when there are festivities,
You should be able to meditate in a riot. Should be. But you can't. Unless you train your mind over a long period to go into silence. Your mind is a terrible master, but a perfect slave. If you make your mind a master, it will drive you completely insane. But it's also a very good slave. The day you can control it, it will do your bidding. So if you know how to quieten the mind, it's a technique you have to develop. Every person develops it on his own. There is no set formula for that. But if over a period of time you develop that, you could do meditation in a disco or in a cinema hall, anywhere. But initially, yes, you do require that peace and quiet till your mind is trained to go inside, go within. There is a process where you just bring down the brain frequency. You should know how to do that. It comes with practice, nothing else. There is no way anybody can really teach you meditation. You can only be guided into doing it. You have to learn it on your own. It cannot be gifted also. No guru can gift you meditation. Guru can gift you experience, not meditation. That you have to develop. Because your mind is your own. It's an electrical impulse. Either shut off that impulse and you're dead, or the impulse is going to do what it wants. Is that?